Okay, let me start this by saying I've been in the Kingdom Hearts fandom since the very first game. I remember being in my living room and hearing the commercial come on and just stopping dead in my tracks from the siren song that is simple and clean. I remember being there on day one of Kingdom Hearts 2. At some point, I got Chain of Memories. I think I got that when that first came out too. And since then, I've just been on this crazy roller coaster of a series. I really wanted to go into KH3 loving it, but I just cannot deal with the story. And I was upset at myself for not liking it when, I have my own opinion and I'm just not gonna like everything that happens in the series. But here are my ideas on how KH3 could have flowed a little bit better. Okay, number one, keep the Final Fantasy characters. Like, yes, I get that the Kingdom Hearts characters can stand there on their own popularity now, but the same could be said if you took out the Disney characters. Except Donald, Goofy, Mickey, and Sid, even though he was just there to explain stuff until his big entrance at the end. But like Chip and Dale didn't need to explain the gummy ship. This is our third rodeo. We know how that goes already. Enzo gave everyone phones to journal and record with, so Jiminy wasn't really needed either. Merlin, you don't even see until later. You know he's there because he's supposed to be training Kyrie and Lee, but that's like all we know. The Final Fantasy characters wouldn't have affected the Kingdom Hearts characters' popularity any more than Disney characters did. They're the reason a lot of people got into the series because they love Final Fantasy and they got to see them again. So taking them out just kind of took away the nostalgia, and also it's the end of the saga. So if you wanted to write them out later, you could, but they've been on this trip with us since the beginning, so removing them just seems unnecessary. Okay, my second point, the characterization. If you're gonna go with this argument that you didn't need the Final Fantasy characters for, the Kingdom Hearts characters to bounce off of, you could at least have the characters interact better outside of the plot that have characterization. Why doesn't Riku talk to Kairi or vice versa, despite being best friends too? Even after Sora gets Thanos snapped, Riku's off racing on the beach while Kairi is crying alone. Best friends don't let each other cry alone. In fact, why is Riku happy at all? From what we've seen up until now, Riku was a ride or die for Sora, and he's just racing on the beach. Did he grieve before the beach party? Did he grieve at all? Can we see that if he did? And then all Vin and Aqua say to each other is good morning. After a decade of separation, and Ventus saw what happens to Aqua because he was in Sora's heart during the anti-Aqua fight, right? He saw her fall to evil. Roxy's got to react to Xion through Sora, and Ventus got to react to Vanitas through Sora. So he had to have seen Aqua fighting Sora, obviously ignored it, or at least fall into darkness. But nothing for Aqua but a good morning after he saw her suffering. Really? The final meeting before the battle established that everyone knows each other in some way, but that's like it. Van didn't ask about Issa. I don't think anyone asked about Terra. Only Axel seems concerned about Vin and Roxas looking identical. There's like no emotion or answering of any questions even the characters want to know. They learn off screen on phones. Have them interact deeper. Okay, my next point. The pacing of the reunions. The reunions were shoved into like the last quarter of the game. In order to help with the characterizations, the reunions and saving could have happened a lot earlier. Without them, there's really no middle point in the game like in previous titles. Especially since you don't have to go back to the worlds. You go from frolicking around in Disney movies to straight in-game. You know what we could have seen in between those worlds? Aqua and Vin talking about how to save Terra. Aqua searching for her Keyblade and armor. more progress on Rox's completion so he doesn't have to inexplicably arrive at the battle. Roxas and Vin could talk and have their moment to figure out what the heck is happening for some comedic relief. There are a lot of possibilities you could have gone with to fill that gap. Okay, probably my biggest pet peeve of all was the Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key bait that they added in. If you're going to have Dimmick's, Larcene, Luke Sword, and Marluxia's Unchained Key pass brought up, just to not do anything with it in the game, save it for the epilogue. I don't know, maybe have their charities appear to them too, and like Vin's did, and leave it at that. I mean, people will still ask questions, you'll still have your bait, but it'll be at the end of the game. And you can't really add Unchained Key stuff when the mobile game isn't even there yet. We just got to the somebody's of Marluxia and Larcene. Slow down. This is the conclusion to the Xehanort saga. We don't need Unchained Key added into the middle of the game. The epilogue will be the best place for that. People are going to get on the mobile game now, expect the answers when there aren't any yet. Then the box, which was also not used to conclude this saga. If the fans watched back cover, which many have, and if they didn't, they'd have a reason to now, they know about the box already. Don't put it in here when it has nothing to do with Xehanort and it's never opened. It fit perfectly fine in the Luxu reveal only. Having Maleficent and Pete run around for nothing was pointless cutscenes that could have been added to the main cast. Although per secret report, she's going to be important later, I guess, which once again could have been fine with her appearance in the epilogue, not in the middle of the game. Then the mysterious girl Issa and Lee were looking for couldn't have been brought up before. Putting it in Birth by Sleep would have been impossible, because that came out a long time ago, and the Final Mix came out a long time ago before this was even established. But maybe have a flashback for Axel during the break from training. I know you have one already for Xion, but or have Vin talk to Axel and have Axel explain what him and Issa were up to back then. Or heck, don't even have them involved with her. Only have a secret report from Ansem to be read at the end to describe her, since he was the one experimenting on her in the first place. Then maybe also cut out the whole ephemeral part altogether. Like, I get you were trying to honor the players of Unchained Key, but they basically confused everyone by incorporating it. Even the people that know of the character were left wondering, is he dead? Why did he just appear like that? What happened? We don't know, because they just use it as a gimmick to get people to play the mobile game, and the mobile game isn't even that far yet. So we don't even know what happens to Ephemera. We know he's alive now, but we don't know what happened to him later. And then the people that know him have no idea who this kid is or why he's important. Stop trying to bait people into playing the mobile game through this one. Save it for Kingdom Hearts 4. Okay, wait. This might be my biggest pet peeve. The Xehanort retcons. Okay, so in Birth by Sleep, we learned that Xehanort was originally from Destiny Islands, right? We even see him as a late teen, 20-something on the shore, wishing he could leave. So why the heck is he younger in Scala Ad Column? Why make Scala Ad Column besides the addiction of using Latin names for things? If you wanted to be the final world as the heart of all worlds, cool. But you messed up making Xehanort seemingly originate from there when you told us he was from Destiny Islands. This series started in Destiny Islands. You know how awesome it would have been to have the saga in there too? Shobi did that in 1, but it didn't hold that big of a meaning as the big bad being born there too. The saga would come full circle. We don't even get to explore a Scala Ad Column, so it's there to look pretty even though we can't look at anything because we're fighting a boss. Granted, Daybreak Town's ruins may or may not be under it, but once again, you can show the fate of Daybreak Town in the epilogue or the mobile game. It had nothing to the end of this saga, the Xehanort saga. If you're going to have Xehanort do a face turn, you need to set that up a lot earlier than end. So it turns out he wants to reset the world. He's suddenly talking about people and their unchecked darkness just flooding the world. And now he wants to use light to restart? That wasn't even fleshed out well. If you wanted to go that route, maybe perhaps make his goal to make the worlds one again so no one will ever feel trapped. But no, he wrote that part about him out of it. 95% of the darkness in this saga is him being evil. He struck down his best friend. He literally rips a person in half. He possesses someone for a decade and then splits that person. And he kills at least 10 people twice to make nobodies for his plot. If anything needs to be purged, it's him. He cannot be redeemed this late in the series, if at all. There's no way to write that. We need like 3 more side games to make it even somewhat believable before 3. Saying he'd be there for Ericus after he tried to kill him. The reconciliation was a little touching and expected for a KH title, but come on. Okay, my next point would be Riku and his retcons, or at least things that were forgotten about. In the beginning, Riku was best friends with both Kairi and Sora. In KH1, he was pissed because of what happened to Kairi and because he thought Sora moved on. In KH3, he doesn't even talk to Kairi. He watched her get swept away by a demon tower twice without so much as a Kairi. He does go, wait, she's in trouble? When Sora tells him she's been kidnapped. But then he watched her get straight murdered and get an angry Xehanort, but it's not really easily understood whether it's because of Kairi or just because Sora started fighting him that he's suddenly angry. But no tears or anything. Sora cries, but nothing from Riku. When Sora gets snapped, like I said before, he doesn't comfort her, nor does he even grieve for Sora. Drip drop distance, Riku would never. In KH2, Riku was the one that somehow gave Kairi the Keyblade to fight and protect herself. In KH1, she was a part of the plan to sell away. In KH1, he actively tried to get her heart back. Now they just don't talk? Huh? Trios are a big part of the series. Have the main one act like one. Also, Riku is a Keyblade master now. A master. Why did Sora have to save him, Mickey, and Aqua, who are also masters? Why was he nerfed to make Sora, who's once again underpowered, shine? Yes, this is Sora's story. And yes, that scene was very cool. I will admit, that was cool. But he should have been able to handle that. And that would let us play as him for longer than 3 minutes. Aqua fell to darkness. Riku knows what that's like. This was their moment. Then after all is said and done, he talks to her once, welcoming her home. Give them more interaction. Have them talk about the realm of darkness, how scary it is, how they missed their friends while they were stuck there. Have them interact somehow. They're so similar. Not as similar as Terra and Riku, but you get the picture. And next is the nerfing of the lights in general. Aqua is a master. We've even seen her fight hand to hand without her Keyblade, and she could hold her own, well, except if, the Guardian wasn't overpowered or anything. She's beaten Vanitas in the past. It was her time to shine. She said it. It's her time to shine. Yet somehow she blocks his shot with her body when she has a Keyblade and nose reflect, and she has to be saved? What? Mickey knows Ultima, but couldn't destroy a demon tower in the realm of darkness? Axel was training in a hyperbolic time chamber. I don't expect him to be a master level, but he was shown to have some moves. Same for Kairi. Well, her AI. But in KH2, she even seemed aggressive when she first got her Keyblade. Jumping off balconies and crap. You go, Kairi. In KH2, you go. So there were 3 masters on the team. 3! And they still got bodied. Once by a demon tower or wave, and Sora had to swoop in and save them in reverse time or whatever, then I'll give them the Terranort battle, because, yeah, he was OP. He was very OP. But the demon towers? They froze like a deer in headlights and got swept away without defending themselves. Except Riku. But, they were just like, I guess I'll just die. There's too many of them. We can't do anything. This is it. I get Kingdom Hearts is Sora's story. I get it. But you just can't introduce characters over years. Have them go through so much pain and growth and not have them come out any better because of it. Especially the heroes. That's their thing. To give us even more characterization, like I discussed earlier, have us play as a few of them, so Sora doesn't have to be involved in every fight, or at least takes a back seat. We can still get the cutscenes that way, because, Sora's still going to be there, we see his point of view, but he doesn't have to actively fight in the battle. We can fight as Ventus, we can fight as Aqua, we can fight as Terra, Riku, Roxas, Xion. And then Roxas was still a badass when he came back. Zenith was shook. How he came back and still able to dual wield will be included in the question section at the end, but let us fight as him. And the part everyone has a problem with is Kairi. Kairi deserves so much better. Like, I can't really be mad at her because it's the writing. She's a fictional character. She's not the one dictating her actions. She does what's written. Marketing for the game hyped her up so much. This time I'll fight for you, Sora. This time I'm going to be in it. I'm training. As early as Dream Drop Distance, we find out she's training. In Kingdom Hearts 2, we find out she even has it in her to fight and hold her own. Even in KH1, she was willing to protect Sora's Heartless with her body. Then they teased that there were multiple playable characters. But Kairi can't be one of them? Really? All this hype, and then you can't play as her. Then KH3 comes, and we get the Damsel in Distress again. I didn't expect her to be a badass with a Keyblade either, but I didn't expect her to get kidnapped and killed to motivate Sora. So we're told she still has her heart of light. Her AI can be seen using this light in battle, and when she's the reason Sora didn't lose his form and completely die, more than likely due to this light power, we're told that. We're not shown that. Show us her point of view. If she's that important, if she has that much power, show us that. Don't tell us that. Then after they're swept away by Heartless twice, yeah, good old time travel. But you think she'd want to raise her Keyblade to block an attack after everything that's been happening? Instead, she stares at her doom as Terranort looms over her, about to kill her. I mean, okay, with Terranort, she would have got knocked really far away, or her Keyblade would have shattered, but at least she would have tried to defend herself. Stop making her a damsel. In KH1 and 2, Kairi wouldn't just stand there. But nope, Sora has to jump in front of her, risking his life and hers. KH2, Kairi also fought back against Axel, who kidnapped her. With Zenith, she didn't put up a fight. At all. Sora doesn't need motivation. If he doesn't fight, they'll die. That's usually motivation enough. She deserves better. All the girls deserve better, to be honest. My next point is Sora. This poor boy. Okay, so Sora has always been a tiny bit dim, but he's like a walking brick in this game. I know it's a kid's game, but kids aren't stupid. Young and inexperienced in life, but not stupid. It was funny like twice, and then it got annoying. Kingdom Hearts 1 Sora wasn't dumb. He was just a kid thrown into an unfamiliar situation in worlds. Calm and KH2 Sora weren't dumb either, except with computers, but like I doubt they have that on their island, so he doesn't really get a chance to see that often. He was more sure of himself and a bit reckless or childish, but he wasn't stupid. I'm gonna be honest, I hated Dream Drop Distance. I don't even remember his character much, but I know it wasn't as bad as 3. Sure, he basically had to start from zero again power-wise, but that shouldn't affect his intelligence. It just felt like forced comic relief, and I honestly felt bad because they were all picky on him about it. But then I see the fandom saying, but he probably never finished school. Yeah, he probably didn't, but this boy can fly a rocket. He can cook, he can dance, he can sing, he can sail a sailboat, a pirate ship, whatever. Run up walls, protect people. He's been to so many worlds by this point that he had to have picked up a bunch of stuff. He's no more than me from his experiences alone, and I have a degree. And usually by the end of the games, he visibly matures and comes to terms with things just for it to be forgotten in the next entry. Let that carry over to the next games, while still keeping his childish spirit. In 3, he knew he'd be dying to save Kairi, and was okay with that. He accepted his fate. I played KH1 when I was 10, and I liked how it was, and how it had Disney and worlds from my childhood, but it didn't treat me like a kid playing a video game. I still had to strategize and figure out how to do things on my own, much like Sora in Cage 1. Don't baby the audience by dumbing down the characters. There's a difference between childish and dumb. Unless he has some type of learning disorder and that's why he can't count, and that had to be added in there for some reason, which some people could identify with and would provide some good representation, but I doubt that's what they were going for. If they were, the teasing of Sora by his friends ruined that. Okay, and I know this part is gonna make everyone explode, but the forced romance. I'll be honest, I shipped Sokai for the majority of the franchise until I went back and went through it all again to prepare for 3. Whether romance happens or not, I will say Soriku also was valid until 3. In Cage 1, Riku and Kairi were both motivation for Sora. Sora and Kairi were motivation for Riku. In Cage 2, Riku fought Roxas and Shion prior to restore Sora. His main goal was to help Sora, at no matter the cost. Kairi gets kidnapped, but sets out to find Riku and Sora. When they finally meet, Kairi hugs Sora, and he's visibly uncomfortable. But his reaction to Riku? The boy breaks down in tears on his knees. Then, when they team up to take down Xemnas, Riku at times has to save Sora from him. In Dream Drop Distance, Sora dives on Riku and is psyched that he became a master even if he failed. And during Dream Drop Distance, Riku is ready and willing to dive into Sora's dreams to save him. Riku also appears in the secret ending, more than likely trying to save Sora again in 3. In Cage 3, besides the Aqua saving, Riku and Sora barely interact. Riku is with Mickey all the time, and Sora's off doing his own thing. Their friendship is visibly weaker, with no explanation. The whole trio's closeness is dumbed down, but I digress. Sora worries that Riku is sitting alone, and Kairi cuts him off and shoves a papu fruit in his face. He doesn't worry about him again, nor does Kairi seem to be concerned about Riku at all. And he doesn't even seem eager to take it, despite drawing them doing this very thing in Cage 1. There's no lead up to this situation. Sora and Kairi barely talk in this game too, but didn't at all until this point. Then, like I said before, we don't even get to see Riku grieve for Sora, platonically or otherwise. Whatever you ship, it was done dirty in Cage 3. Their basic friendship trio was shafted, while the others thrived. At this point, I'm all for them all just being friends. I don't trust romance to be reliably written if the friendship can't even stay consistent. I did have a bit about the worlds, but I wanted to focus more on the story this time. Maybe I'll make another video about the worlds and how I felt about them, but let's get down to the questions I still have. Why can Roxas still dual wield, and where did he come from? Did the vessel just teleport to the battle after his heart left Sora seconds before? Is Vexus still a nobody? I swear his eyes were yellow. Where did Dimmix go? Where'd Lingering Will go? How is Terra able to stay in the present? The darknesses go back to the time they came from. And we saw Terra age before he was split in two when he had amnesia in Cage 2. The Terra we get back is the young one, so he's from the past. Why does he disappear? Was Naminé having the Lingering Will on speed dial explained outside of their interaction from the orchestra concert that not every friend had the privilege of going to? Overall, I really wanted to love this game. I was actually disappointed in myself because I didn't love this game. I thought something was wrong with me because I didn't love this game. But seeing other people having the same reservations I have about it makes you feel a little bit better. If you love the game, that is good for you. Play it to your heart's content. Play it until the disc does not work anymore. But I cannot say this is a good game or a good story. The story of Kingdom Hearts has always been a bit convoluted and messy, but this takes the cake. It's supposed to be into a saga, but it felt more like a setup for the next saga. And all the characters in this game did not get the justice they deserved. I'm still going to be in this ride. I'm going to see where the series goes, but I don't think I can confidently do a day one purchase ever again for this series. But that's just my thoughts and analysis. If you like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll try to keep doing more content in the future. Just have some health problems I'm dealing with, so it's kind of iffy on how often I can do this. But thank you for watching.